I'm going to read to you all an excerpt out of this book, The Conjuring of America. All right. This is the full title, the full book cover. It says, Mojos, Mermaids, Medicine, and 400 Years of Black Women's Magic by Lindsay Stewart. Because I'm pissed the fuck off, bitch. Granted, there are people that have already known this information, but I don't feel like enough people are being loud enough. I feel like there's too many Black people who are in academic spaces that only want to talk to one another. They only want to talk to other Black people that go to college, that get degrees, and that's not good enough. All right, here we go. In mainstream lore, the story of Vicks Vapor Rub is that the salve was developed out of desperation. I don't give a fuck if I'm pronouncing salve correctly or not. Not right now. English, French, and Spanish was of the colonizer for Black people. So no, I don't really care if it's pronounced correctly. In mainstream lore, the story of Vicks Vapor Rub is that the salve was developed out of desperation with a bit of luck. In 1894, Richardson, I believe his full name is, hold on, because I'm just sharing a little part of this with you all. Lunsford Richardson, okay? So, in 1894, Richardson had a very sick son on his hands. His young child was suffering from a severe case of the croup, an illness that swells the airways, making it hard for children to breathe. So with a degree in Latin, a budding interest in chemistry, and all the medical knowledge granted by having a doctor as a father, Richardson retreated into the office of the little drugstore he was running to experiment on something that would save his son's life. What he came up with, just in the nick of time, was the aforementioned Richardson's Magic Croup and pneumonia cure salve, eventually renamed Vicks Vapor Rub. But for generations, the Stansel Shepherd family have passed down a completely different story of the salve's origins that goes something like this. Richardson spends much of his youth under the eye of Wiley, his Negro Mammy. If you are not Black, I don't think you should be saying Mammy just to say it. When you all hear the phrase, go talk to your mammy, go tell your mammy. A mammy was an enslaved Black woman who was forced into domestic labor. We had to breastfeed you all's children or face death on the table. We had to take care of your children and then watch as ours were sold or beaten, and we couldn't do much about it, or if we did, we were further reprimanded. It's a nasty history. So I need you all to understand what a mammy is, because some of y'all get way too comfortable with saying, oh, go talk to your mammy about it, and y'all don't be Black. But for generations, the Stansel Shepherd family have passed down a completely different story of the salve's origins that goes something like this. Richardson spends much of his youth under the eye of Wiley, his Negro mammy, who has an extensive repertoire of knowledge and skills for treating common ills and ailments. Richardson goes away to college, while Wiley gives her daughter, Miley Stansel, just a few years younger than Richardson, another kind of education: how to gather herbs from the forest, the recipes for teas, the benefits of salves. When Lunsford Richardson returns home from college and sets up a local apothecary, his son falls gravely ill, and there was one fateful night when a very worried Richardson took his young, sick son to Miley's house. Miley was known in the county for treating sick children, both white and Black. Richardson's son got well after Miley's treatment, and he was so impressed that he returned to Miley for the remedy. Then, according to the family, he passed her salve off as his own. During the 19th century, many enslaved Black women passed down their herbal recipes for cures the same way they would heirlooms, as Wiley did to her daughter, Miley Stansel. The Stansel Shepherd family claims that the recipe for the magic salve that earned Richardson millions, we're talking about Vicks Vapor Rub, was stolen from Miley. The drama of these two American families, the Stansel Shepherds and the Richardsons, is like so many others in the annals of our country's history. where race plays a factor in determining not only the generational wealth a family is able to accrue, but also how our lives and contributions are or are not remembered. I am certain, like I said earlier, I am certain that there are so many people who already know this. There are so many people that already know the lore behind Vicks Vapor Rub, but unfortunately, some of you all are not being loud enough. Okay, I'm with Ida B. Wells on the belief that you have to, if you're really pro-black, you got to help your average black person out. It can't just be the elites talking to the elites. It can't just be black people in academic spaces only sharing academia with one another. You can't, what the fuck is that? I'm so tired of the elite blacks, the blacks who do read, the blacks who go to the Ivy Leagues, the blacks who went to, the Howards and the Dartmouth. And okay, that's great. But what have you actually done? And then to see some of you all brag and brag and brag. And when I think about other spiritualists like myself, where, they have big platforms, they have popularity. In fact, a lot of them have more popularity than I do. Again, you ain't doing enough. You're not. Because what I do see out of some people is that y'all want to berate each other about, oh, well, I know more than you. Why the fuck y'all do it? That's nothing to brag about. That doesn't make, why are you bragging to other black people that you know more about black spirituality and black history? Why are you bragging about that? Bitch, you're supposed to be teaching. According to the Stansel Shepherd's family, Vicks Vapor Rub came from Miley Stansel and essentially her mother, Wiley, a Negro Mammy. A Negro Mammy is probably behind so many of our proclaimed medicines today. Black women. Off the backs of black women, y'all have built not only this country, but so many other countries, probably. And so, yes, I am thinking again and again about some of the things that I've been discussing on TikTok lately, which is racism in spiritual spaces. And how dare you all consider yourselves these renowned spiritualists and be Caucasian and act like y'all don't owe shit to no black people. And when we call y'all out about y'all racism, y'all want to act all surface level and act like you don't understand nothing nobody is talking about. And then I am upset about the black people who are educated, who do go to college, who do get these degrees, who do know about this, who do already have this book. But why the fuck y'all ain't talking about it more? Because this should be something that the average black person can easily understand. Something that Ida B. Wells would have made sure to do is to make it plain and easy to understand. We can't keep making spiritual content only for other people who already know about spiritual content. That doesn't make any fucking sense. We're not going to progress forward. Excuse me for sounding like such an Aquarius today. We are not going to progress forward when you all just want to gatekeep from one another. That doesn't make any sense. Gatekeep from the colonizer, not your sisters. Y'all be bragging that y'all know more than other people and, oh, I know all of these things. I know all of these facts. But what have you done with it? What have you done with all this knowledge that you're bragging that you have? What have you done with it? You haven't saved any lives. Not for real. Because if you're only educating yourself to talk to other people who are already educated, then what did you accomplish? You're not teaching anybody anything. And I am questioning all the black people who are, African American studies teachers, women's studies teachers. Okay, are you? This type of information belongs with your average black woman. Not just the elite black woman. And essentially we're all elite at birth, but it can't just be the college degree black woman. It can't just be the upper middle class black woman. And why can't it just be a black woman? I need y'all to teach and spread and share. Because right now I'm starting to see a pattern of, unless you pick yourself up, unless you just so happen to have privilege, it is a privilege to be spiritual in America as a black woman. It is, unfortunately. It's a privilege to be loud and proud about your spirituality. It's a privilege to, if like you grew up with your spirituality. I don't like when y'all brag about that. Like, oh, I've always been spiritual. My parents have always been spiritual. Why are y'all bragging about that? Y'all haven't done enough. That's what I'm trying to say. A lot of y'all have not done enough. You claim to be these teachers, these educators. You claim that you care about the black community. You claim. But then my thing is, how many of y'all already knew this type of fucking information and y'all not? It's like you're only discussing it with other people like yourself who already know about it. So then what the fuck are y'all doing? Rooms of educated black people who just talk to each other and they don't talk to nobody else, and they don't share none of this information. And so when y'all try to call me ghetto and all of this, at least I give a fuck about the average black person. I don't need a black woman to be educated to talk to her, to take her seriously. I don't need a black, because educated is what, a perspective. It's a timeline. It's a fraction of time. I mean, people can become educated within seconds. That's not a permanence. I give a fuck about the average black person understanding and knowing spirituality and what it actually means. They got us demonizing black spirituality, when majority of the world that we know today was built off of it. So let me say this clearly. I know that I'm deemed as ghetto to a lot of spiritual people, okay? I know, because I'm loud and I refuse to walk on eggshells for the approval of white people. I have white audience. I have white fans. I have white supporters. And I don't have to walk on eggshells with them. I can talk about race and they will still be there. I can talk about racism and they will still be there. Same thing. I could talk about fat phobia. Skinny hoes love me down. But when you're a real ass bitch, you're a real ass bitch, and I don't have to walk on eggshells. Like I said, this is not corporate America. I'm not going to give that to you all. Spirituality is not supposed to be a commodity for what? What? So many of you all put your spirituality on like a costume, right? And you love hearing yourself talking to the camera, but you're not actually focused on collective healing, all the things that you all could do, the powerful, beautiful things that you all could do with your platforms. No, a lot of you all are just these privileged ass preachers' kids who just want to be your daddy's son. Y'all just want to repeat the mistakes of your father, your patriarchal ass daddy. Okay? A lot of you all are just mean girls that graduated out of high school, didn't know what else to do. You just so came upon, spirituality and made something of it. Some of you all are former victims of mean girls who ended up becoming mean girls, the victim to the villain pipeline, and now in spiritual spaces because you've realized, you can be popular and weird at the same time. Now it's gone to your fucking head. I wouldn't even say gone to your head. It's exposed what was already there. You never had a problem with the mean girls. You wanted to be the mean girl, and there is a difference between the two. Okay, but I know that you all deem me as ghetto. It's just I think that the ghetto black woman is the real goddess. I think that the world we live in today was built off of the ghetto black woman. And I don't think black lives will ever matter until the ghetto black woman's life does. The disrespect you all have for ghetto anything, right? First off, we were deemed as ghetto by racism. So it shouldn't even fucking matter to y'all. No matter how much you code switch, no matter how, you can speak all proper. Racist is racist for a reason. They don't like your ass. You're supposed to be fake for a cause. Not fake because you actually fuck with racist white people. I just find it insulting to your ancestors, right? Who were deemed as uneducated because they were, oh my God, either taken from where they live or misplaced, sold, put all over the place, right? Forced to speak English or Spanish or French, and then we're deemed uneducated or lesser than because we don't know y'all fucking language. And then everything that we were was deemed as bad. Everything that we are is demonized. And I think, how dare y'all? How dare you all? And yes, I am talking to my people. Sedity, bourgeois, blue vein society bitches. This behavior of this gatekeeping from what? The gatekeeping from the ghetto goddess. Why? Why? Because you all are so white supremacy centered that you would gatekeep, right? Black magic from a black woman, the average black woman who deserves to know her magic. That's what y'all do. Because if not, you gotta be a certain type of privileged or a certain type of already educated to even reach this sort of knowledge. That's why I'm loud, y'all. Go look in the Ida B. Wells. That's why I like to make things plain. That's why I don't mind talking to ghetto black women. I don't mind. You all get so disturbed and weirded out when a black woman is a little hood with a hair bonnet, a little soulful. Even some of you soulful hoes, you still don't like the ghetto ones, right? You want the Erica Badu and the Jill Scott without where Jill Scott actually came from. That's your fucking problem now.